But yeah, to get into our like first news story here, as I mentioned, RPG Maker is something that I've never really interacted much with. I remember briefly when I was a kid, trying RPG Maker on PC. I feel like it was like one of those things. What was that like torrent service? It was like a green logo. It was not Napster, but it was something that was like after Napster. Anyways, you could download games from there as well because you could download anything from torrent servers. And there's like Lemmings Paintball and stuff like that. But anyways, RPG Maker is something I was on there, and I ended up checking out RPG Maker. If you don't know what RPG Maker is, it's basically, a tool that lets you build little games, typically in an RPG fashion, right? And it's been around for a really long time. And I imagine back in the day, a really valuable thing, right? Because you didn't have access to tools like Unity. You didn't have access to tools like Game Maker. You didn't have access to Unreal Engine. And those things are available now. You can get them, I think, generally for free. It's just you pay if like you start selling it and you get some level of success, right? I think that's kind of how that stuff has worked. But, I think with RPG Maker, it's still a little bit more casual. When I've played RPG Maker games, usually people do as much customization as they need to, right? So when they make these games, it's not necessarily that everyone's reworking everything, but games like Yumi Nikki, I think, do pretty extensive reworking to their stuff. So anyways, but what caught my eye about this most recent one, RPG Maker with, is apparently starting out on Nintendo Switch, but it's coming to, or is out on PlayStation 4 and PS5 now. I'm not quite sure which. I think I was on the English page and it was not out yet there, where I think the Japanese one, it says released today, January 30th. But I did go through and like double check the English pages for this game just to kind of make sure I understand. This is just the link I had to the article that I first found this. But it sounds like this version is the first time they're doing cross-platform support. So that means, it seems like, as far as I can tell, you can download each other's games. You can also share assets. So if you do make custom assets, you can share those as well. So I think that was just something that, you might be like, oh, that seems okay, fairly normal. I think to me, one of the limitations of RPG Maker has always seemed like the ability to share your game, right? And maybe I say this as somebody who goes and posts things on YouTube, right? Like I have a history of basically opening my brain and throwing at you on YouTube to listen to what I have to say, when I probably could just journal about it and learn just as much. But for some reason, I don't know why, I want to tell you about it on the internet, right? That's kind of another thing, right? What the incentive structure is behind that, I don't know. But, so being able to make a game just for yourself that nobody else will ever play is like an interesting concept, but it's not like I'm not going to invest nearly as much time into it. So the idea of like expanding that out to a larger audience, I think is like a really cool thing. But one thing I did notice, and RPG Maker has a history of PC versions. And as far as I can tell, RPG Maker with is console only. So I'd be curious if RPG Maker with, if it ever came out on PC, if they would ever do any cross-platform stuff. Because I feel like once you integrate PC into games that let you kind of, create content, it creates a lot of scenarios that a game can be abused to get into, like, the Switch or the PlayStation's settings, right? Like they'll create a scenario that it creates some security vulnerability and things like that, right? Not gonna say that's always the case, and I have no idea what level RPG Maker interacts with a platform like the Switch or the PlayStation. But it just seems like one of those things that like, oh, we don't want people doing weird PC stuff on our consoles. So anyways, I thought it was just neat. I think, RPG Maker is a series that I think you should be able to share it as broadly as you can, right? So I think that's really cool. So will I play RPG Maker? Probably never. I started Game Builder Garage last year and then kind of fell off. I need to get back to it. I would like to build at least one game in Game Builder Garage that is wholly my own thing. However, since it's been multiple months now since I last played Game Builder Garage, I kind of have a feeling that I probably will have forgotten how to build stuff. But who knows? When I get back there, we shall see.